Specie 4K action.
What's going on, YouTube? Happy Sunday. Hope everyone's weekend is going fantastic. I'm just going to do a fun video here, at least for me. I'm just pulling out Paramount titles and just recommending, I guess, the best ones I have in my collection as far as 4K transfer-wise. So as many of you know, most of this stuff back here is all 4Ks. I've grabbed a nice stack of some Paramount releases that I thought are just top-notch for sure. So I'm going to go over 5 notables, and then I'm going to go over 5 classic type movies, older movies that have incredible transfers, and then 5 newer type movies. So again, this is not based on the movie at all. I know some of these movies are not the greatest story-wise, but transfer-wise, these are reference quality in my opinion. So starting off with just some notable picks, I had to give Star Trek some love and started out with The Wrath of Khan. I have all of the Star Trek movies that they currently have in 4K, but this one right here is the best. Story, movie-wise, and transfer-wise, in my opinion. I highly recommend The Wrath of Khan if you have not seen it. Incredible performances by a lot of different people. I'm not going to get into it, but this is definitely a notable from Paramount. Another notable from Paramount that has just in crazy colors, a really crazy movie to begin with, but this transfer looks incredible. That's Annihilation. I haven't seen this movie in a long time, but I remember kind of the premise and the story of this, and this transfer looks incredible. This is one I go to often to show people some colors, but just another really reference quality disc from Paramount. Another notable, and this is just a fantastic movie, maybe one of the best of all time, but I mean, this transfer looks incredible as well, and that is Braveheart. Absolutely love Braveheart. This is a movie I can always pop in. It is on the longer side, of course, but Mel Gibson, this movie, the score, I mean, everything. The transfer on this is incredible. This is one every collector needs to have in the collection. No questions about it. Another notable, I could have pulled any movie from this trilogy, but notice how I said trilogy. But I'm going to pull Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is my favorite Indiana Jones movie of all time. This is really what kind of got it all going. And to me, this is, you know, the best, if not one of the best action movies ever created. And I just don't see how they can ever come back to these kind of glory days. But this transfer is absolutely incredible, and the movie is incredible. Another one every collector should have in the collection, and I just really love this steelbook. Really love that steelbook. My last notable pick is a fairly newer release from Paramount, and that is Pulp Fiction. This is not my favorite Quentin Tarantino film. I know a lot of people love this movie. I really enjoy the first 40 minutes of this, and then it kind of slows down for me. However, when I popped this in for the first time, when I got this 4K, I was only expecting to watch the first 40 minutes, and I sat down and watched the entire film. And it wasn't because of the movie and the story. It was really because of this transfer. It looks incredible. Maybe not Reservoir Dogs incredible, but it is top notch. And again, another one, if you're a Quentin Tarantino fan or just a movie fan, this is one you got to have in your collection. Pulp Fiction on 4K. All right, so those were the notable picks. Now I'm going to go into my actual picks, and these first 5 are actually classic movies. So starting off, It's a Wonderful Life. This is the only black and white that's on my list here, but again, what can I say about this? This transfer is absolutely incredible. The movie's incredible. They did a killer job with this, and this is a must-watch every year for me around Christmas. I know there's a big debate whether this is a Christmas movie or not. Yes, it is a Christmas movie about suicide and depression, but yeah, no, this is a classic, and I still am amazed at how good this looks, again. And I think you can get the steelbook for like $10. It's still $10. I do have the steelbook back there, but I pulled my slipcover edition to show off here. But again, another great disc. And they also do have a colored version of this on the Blu-ray. I'm not sure how that looks. I haven't checked that out, but I always stick with the original black and white. So that's my number 5 as far as classic picks from Paramount. It's always It's a Wonderful Life. All right, so my next classic Paramount movie that just has an incredible transfer is The Ten Commandments. This movie is... On the back, it says it's the greatest epic of all time. I don't know if it's that, but it is a masterpiece. It is so vibrant. It is so colorful. I mean, the costumes, the set locations, just everything it took to make this movie at this time is just incredible. And again, this is such a long movie, 231 minutes, but man, oh man. If you can watch, I mean, some of the CGI stuff at the end where they're like parting the Red Sea, you know, doesn't look great. But I mean, anywhere else in this movie, I mean, it is just awesome. That HDR is just incredible. I don't know if it has Dolby Vision on it. Yeah, I don't see Dolby Vision. But because this is in Technicolor, that's how they filmed it. I mean, I can tell you, every movie that I've seen that was a Technicolor film just pops, and this is no exception. Definitely add this to your collection if you have, if you haven't yet, because I highly recommend it. I could have gone with either one of these in this trilogy as well, but I'm gonna go with the staple and my favorite, and that's The Godfather. This I don't even, words can't even describe this transfer. I am so happy they did this movie justice. It looks absolutely fantastic, incredible, whether you have the box set, whether you have the individual steelbook, or the slipcover. I highly, highly recommend you have this in your collection. I'm a huge Mafia movie type fan, so, I mean, this is a must for me, and this steelbook is just beautiful, as always. But yeah, The Godfather, Paramount, whew, thank you for making this transfer just incredible. All right, so my number 2 on this list for... top 5 Paramount transfers for classic movies is actually going to be pulling. This is the only one from the Paramount Presents line. There is only 4 movies so far on 4K, but this had to make the list, and this is another newer one that just came out late last year, and that is Elvis Blue Hawaii. Amazing. This is such a great feel-good movie. It's got amazing music, and this is just a fun movie, and of course, it's set in Hawaii. The locations, everything just pops. The colors. This is so much fun. I actually visited this movie about a year and a half, 2 years ago when I went to Hawaii, to Kauai actually. I watched it on the way over there, and I really fell in love with the movie. And then when I heard this was coming out on 4K, I was probably one of the only people who rushed to go get this pre-ordered because this was a must. And man, oh man, this looks absolutely incredible. The entire Paramount Presents 4K line, whether it's, Liberty Valance or The World of Worlds, Double Jeopardy I don't have yet, but I mean, they're all great, but this right here looks absolutely incredible. Like I said, the tropical paradise scenes, the costumes, the music, everything about this movie is great. This is an easy one to pop in and just watch all the way through. It's a very easy watch, and I highly, highly recommend this. And my number 1 for classic movies from Paramount on a 4K that look absolutely incredible, how could it beat Blue Hawaii? And I gotta start this out with, I am not a musical person. I don't like musicals for the most part, but this one right here was a blind buy, and oh my goodness. This is absolutely stunning, incredible. It looks like it was filmed yesterday. I cannot get enough of this movie. And that is My Fair Lady. I don't know how I never saw this movie. It's a great story, and it's pretty funny in parts. But man, this looks so freaking good in 4K. It's almost disgusting how good it looks. Like I said, this looks like it was filmed yesterday. The costumes, the colors, everything about this is so vibrant. And just really, really pops. I mean, on an OLED, you are in for a treat. I can't say enough good things about this, but that had to make my list. And for someone who's not a musical fan, I think that's saying something. So, My Fair Lady is my number 1 as far as classic movies go. On to my newer movies. Number 5. Could have picked the first one, but I'm going with The Quiet Place Part 2. Just another incredible movie. Maybe not as good as the first one. I know a lot of people do like this one, but a lot of action, And obviously, you know, it's a newer movie. It looks incredible. I'm sure the sounds are incredible if you have Dolby Atmos, but I highly recommend A Quiet Place Part 2, as this just looks absolutely fantastic, and it's just a gorgeous picture to watch. Another one, you know, if someone's over and they want to reference quality discs, this one's usually popped in, and that's Mission Impossible Fallout. This movie looks absolutely stunning from scene to scene. The action never stops. It's just a killer all-star cast, obviously led by Tom Cruise, but just a ton of different... Henry Cavill's the bad guy in this. I absolutely love this movie. If you haven't seen this, I definitely highly recommend watching this before the new one comes out. Another one that I watch all the time, and I just can't get enough of it. The music in this is one of my favorite soundtracks. And then, of course, the visuals. A lot of these are shot in IMAX. That's Christopher Nolan's Interstellar. I literally just watched this the other day. And again, thinking I'm going to watch just 10-20 minutes of it. And then I sit and watch the entire film. This is so freaking good. I remember the first time I watched this, I was so bored with this. Way back in the day on DVD or something like that. But man, oh man, this is such a great film. And like I said, that score is amazing. But the IMAX scenes, everything about this looks incredible, and definitely one I like to show off. Alright, we're getting down in my top 2 here. And the second one might be controversial. This is definitely, out of all the films I've presented here today, this one probably has the weakest story and probably the worst reviews as far as a movie goes. But transfer-wise, I love showing this off. This has the 60 frames per second, so some people get turned off by that, but man, oh man, this looks so realistic and so real in certain parts. It's incredible, and yeah, I'm going with Gemini Man. Not the greatest Will Smith movie by any stretch, but I cannot get enough of this as far as how this looks on an OLED. The motorcycle scene, I mean, any scenes in this is incredible. Yes, the story has plenty of plot holes. Yes, it's not the best acting in some parts, but I can look past all that stuff and just be in wow at how amazing this movie looks in 4K. So, highly recommend, even if you hate the movie, and you haven't seen it in 4K yet, I highly recommend you do, at least on an OLED, if you can. I really started to enjoy this movie just based on how visually appealing it looks, as sad as that sounds. But it is so incredible, and I highly recommend it. You can get this for really cheap. I think there's a steelbook of this going for $9.99, a 4K steelbook for $10. I mean, you gotta grab that. You gotta grab that for the disc itself. And number one, this is gonna be a no-brainer. This is gonna be on everyone's list, but I had to include it because it's now kind of my number one go-to, and that's, of course, Top Gun Maverick. This is the Walmart exclusive with the lenticular magnet on it, steelbook, but yeah. I don't know what else I can say that's not already been said about this movie, but obviously the visuals in this are incredible. The cinematography, the shots. It was really cool to me to see the behind the scenes and how they basically built these cameras to fit inside these jets, and just to see all of the training that went behind the scenes and how involved Tom Cruise really was with this movie to make this movie. I mean, without Tom Cruise, none of this stuff would have happened. So, incredible. The visuals, just absolutely amazing. As soon as I get Dolby Atmos, I will definitely be saying a lot more about sound. But since I don't have that Atmos set up right now, really just want to stick with the visuals. And Top Gun Maverick is a must in anyone's collection. Whether you love the movie, this is just another beautiful, beautiful work of art, and yeah, another reference quality disc that everyone has to have in their collection. So that's it, guys. That was my list. Of course, this is just my list. This is the Paramount titles I have in my collection that I feel are the best transfers, visually. Your list could be completely different. And so, yeah, give me a like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Let me know down below, what titles you would suggest to me from Paramount that have incredible transfers. I know there's a couple more back there I could have pulled, but it was really hard kind of bringing it down to this list. but I thought I pulled a lot of movies that I tend to rewatch just because of how visually appealing it looks on the 4K disc. So yeah, really excited about putting this together. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And yeah, I hope everyone has a great rest of their weekend. We'll see you all in the next one.